everybody? Today we are at Innovative Details. We are with Kurt. This is his Rossion Q1. When I first saw this car at a meet, I thought it was a Noble M400. And then I met Kurt and he educated me about it. So now we're gonna share it with the viewers and take this thing up for a spin too. When did you first get this car?
So I've had this car about 7 years. Got it from Chicago.
Okay.
The history on this car, I actually went up to Chicago to actually purchase Ian's car, which was the owner of Rossion at the time. He was selling his car that he had at the time, but by the time I had gone to Chicago, that car had sold. They had this car sitting there as well. Ended up getting this car, got it down here. It had 2,000 miles on it at the time. It had really, really low miles on it. They had come down in price to where it was affordable for me, and here she is. I've had her ever since.
So what got you into Rossion? Because it's just, to me, it's such a random car. Like, were you into British cars?
So I was, well, it's British design.
British design, I should say.
That's correct.
Yes.
So I was working offshore, and we had a lot of guys from the UK offshore, and one of the guys had an M400 back home. And I fell in love with that car, the way it looked. So when Rossion bought the rights to the M400 and made this car, this became the car that I wanted. This was my dream car. So I've wanted one ever since 2009-ish, around that area. When I had the chance to actually buy one, I started looking, and they're really hard to find because at that time they were probably making 30 cars a year.
Wow.
So they're really hard to find, and if you find one, they sell really fast.
Obviously, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive. You said this is a Duratec30, like out of a Ford Escape.
That's correct.
Twin turbos.
Yep. Two pretty good size Garrett turbos strapped to it. There have been some people that put single turbos in there.
Right.
Getrag 6-speed transmission. So what's interesting about there, you see all this ducting, right? So you've got ducting coming from there. This is actually partitioned, right? So you've got airbox up top. You see these tubes going to the airbox, and then you'll see some tubes with the orange piping down below. That's to cool the intercooler. The intercooler sits right back here.
Oh yeah, right.
Behind this shield there. Everything up front is just radiator, and not much room up there
for anything else. Your fuel cell.
That's correct. Rossion uses the block, but of course they balance. It's balanced, blueprinted, and forged. So you are able to go to the Ford dealership and obtain parts for various things. It is a little bit of a hassle.
You said with the VIN number?
They ask you for the VIN number, and you're just like, well, it's not exactly a Ford Escape, but the car is making claimed 450 horsepower on 1 bar boost.
And I mean, I'm sure it weighs like nothing. It looks pretty light.
Yes, it is 2,400. It depends on what article you read. 2,400 to 2,800 pounds in that area, which is really super light. Okay. This is a fiberglass with Kevlar and carbon underpinnings.
Okay, nice.
And it's all tube chassis. It's fully roll caged inside. It's all encased in that Alcantara leather, so you can't see it, but you'll see the bar in it when you look at the front windshield. There's a bar there, so you're fully everything. You're in a full roll cage.
Nice.
Interior, the seats, as far as that, so it's full carbon fiber seats. They're just padded, so you're not feeling like you're riding on a 2x4. Belted on both sides. I had an E55, and I had the Conti Sport contacts on there. So naturally, I put them on this car. They hook pretty good once you get them warmed up.
Right.
First gear in the car, it's going to spin.
Well, yeah, of
You're
course.
not going to get out of that. But
Right.
it hooks in second, and in third, it's just like a rocket ship at that point.
Yeah.
Of course, we got a vet going to come right beside this white one. All right, you ready?
Yeah, go for it. Vet probably thought you were with him.
I was leaving him.
Yeah.
This is Z06 too.
Yeah? It's a nice car.
Yeah, hell yeah. I get a lot of Lotus. It looks like a
Yeah,
Lotus.
it does. It does.
So, but there's a lot of cues from the M400, like the side scoops. Now, if we have one side by side, you clearly see the difference. But I believe the M400 and the Rossion Q1 share the windscreen, and that is the only thing that they share, as far as that and the power plant, of course, the Duratec motor.
Wow.
Everything else, the body it's completely different. The big difference Rossion wanted to do was intake ducting, cooling. It's a lot better on this vehicle, and if we have one side by side, you could tell that the intake ducts are way bigger on the Q1 than they are on the M400.
Nice.
The creature comforts between the M400 and this vehicle are a little bit different. You get AC, you get power windows, all of that kind of stuff. You get a stereo that comes in at stock, and it's
Nice.
so it sounds good. So the amenities in there are a little bit more upscale than the M400 itself. I mean, they did all the suspension tuning on the on-ramps in Florida.
Oh, really?
That's how they tune the car.
Well, that's where they're out of, right? Is it Florida?
Yes,
Okay.
Riviera Beach, Florida.
You can actually buy this as like a roller, like a kit car?
Yes, you
Okay.
can buy it as a roller. This is a fully assembled car from Rossion.
Yeah.
But you can buy a roller from them.
So one thing which I was telling you before, I find funny, which I know a lot of supercar companies do this, the Hyundai taillights.
Yeah.
It has Hyundai taillights. Is it a Sonata? Is that what it, I don't remember what Hyundai it was. I'll have to look that up.
It might be.
I'll have to look it up. But
You know,
the
you
Noble
find-
had it too.
Yes, and you find weird little cues like the window switches in here are BMW window switches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are these exclusive to Rossion?
Yes.
The headlights? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, I always thought that was funny. I mean, I understand like they do it and it works. About your innovative details.
Our primary focus is in paint protection films, ceramic coatings, through either Suntech for the film and G-Technique for the coatings.
Okay.
As far as guarantees go, there were both of those companies offer the best guarantees on the market, and that's why we have decided to go with them. G-Technique's been really good to me. As far as product support, customer support, and customer after support as well. It's been phenomenal with G-Technique. I can't say more about them, but that's what we primarily do. We're also accredited in paintless dent removal, so through Dean King. And that's pretty much what we offer here exclusively.
So if you're in the Houston area, be sure to check out him. He has a Instagram page for his business and website. I will put that in the description of this video. But Kurt, I really appreciate you taking the time to show me the Rossion Q1. I think it's a badass car, and I had a blast today, man.
Absolutely,
I appreciate
man.
it. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
See you on the next video. Peace.
I'll give it the sauce.